get my 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the most amazing homesteading channel on the entire internet anywhere that has absolutely nothing to do with homesteading off the grid. What a beautiful view of our pond here in our driveway, lined with fruit trees and this beautiful weeping willow in the background. Working on a project. But first, I gotta tell you a funny story. It's about the pond, okay? So I was sitting here on the porch one day, and this guy comes up the driveway. He worked for the county, okay? So I guess he felt he could do that. Just come up the driveway that has no trespassing signs all over it, invitation only. So he comes up and he gets out of his car and he asks me, he says, "Do you know where so-and-so lives?" I said, "I don't." And he said, "Well, you ought to know. You should know. He's one of your neighbors. He's within one of these houses here, right here close to you." I said, "Sir, I go out of my way to not know my neighbors and to absolutely know nothing about their business, because I've just found the best way to get along with you, or the best way to not have a problem with your neighbors, is to have nothing to do with your neighbors." He said, "Oh, okay." We didn't like that answer. He turns around, he looks at the pond, he goes, "That's a cute little frog pond you got there." I don't know why I'm bending over. This daggone thing here is adjustable. There we go. It's like holding a squat. I already worked out for an hour today. He says, "That's a cute little frog pond you got there. There any fish in it?" And I said, "There's tons of fish in that pond." He says, "Well, what's so funny?" I said, "Well, I don't know. You're the one that made this idea of whether or not there's fish in that pond funny. So I was just laughing with you." He goes, "There ain't a fish in that pond, is there?" I said, "You wait right here, Mr. Government Man. I'll show you what I did." I went to the woodshed and I got some fish pellets and I did this. Watch. Here, fishies. They're a little slow coming up because I already fed them about 45 minutes ago. I only feed them once in the mornings usually. But big old catfish, about as long as my arm came up that particular day. And that government man was amazed. And I said, it ain't so funny anymore now, is it?" And he looks at me, he says, "You sure you don't know where old whatever the dude's name he was looking for lives?" I said, "Sir, I got no idea. Got no idea where he lives." So anyway, there's my funny story. Then the government man got back in his government car and he left. All right. So I'm working on a project. I was going to live stream on our Facebook page, Sick Twisted Humor, because that outlet pays me multiple times more revenues than this outlet, because I don't e-bag. This one wants me to tell you to send me super chats and all this stuff, and I just don't do it. You can if you want, and I'm grateful if you do, but I don't push it. So they cut my pay, but that's okay because I just started working over on Facebook. Maybe that was that catfish. Look at all them fish. And okay, so anyway, and this is part of my story. I didn't even think about that till earlier. This is going to tie in. So I was going to live stream me putting up this purple. Oh yeah, here's what I'm doing, my project. Let me show you this. Look, I got a purple martin house. I put it together. That's a decoy. So's that. That one came home late last night, so he's kind of sideways and he's hung over. But you notice this twine. What's happened here is the company sent the wrong kind of snaps. It was supposed to just be snaps to hold the roof on and the floor on. Had to put it together. They sent the wrong ones. So I didn't want to send anything back. That would just take more time and cost me money and shipping. Even if they reimburse it, I'm out my time. That ties into the storyline too. So I just went in and got some twine. It'll work. So I'm going to put this right here. but I got to put it on a 12 feet high telescoping pole. So I got my pole, and I'm going to do it right. See, here's my pole. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to use concrete and got some drainage gravel there to put on the bottom of the hole. I'm going to dig a hole big enough to put that bucket in. I'm going to mix a ton of concrete in that bucket. Takes 24 hours for it to dry. So once I get the bucket buried in the ground and I got the concrete in it, I'm going to put this pole in here. I'm going to stand here and hold it for 24 hours, and then it'll be dry, and then I'm going to put the birdhouse on there and lift it up. Okay. But listen, let's get to it, right? You guys are all, well, not you guys, but a lot of people are like, man, this guy talks too much and he doesn't get to the point. WTF is the point. Here's the point. Okay, so yeah, I was in Tokyo this past winter, by the way. I spent the winter in Asia, predominantly the Philippines, but we were in Tokyo, in Japan. Wow. Wow. Did you hear that? Did you hear that loud, terrifying, frightening scream from the forest? From some mysterious creature? Wow. It's like always. Okay, so anyway, I was going to live stream doing this on Facebook, but my wife, with whom I made a bad choice, I'm going to explain our bad decisions here, because we're paying the price now. That's what the title is, right? My wife and I made a couple of terrible decisions, and now we're paying the price. What should we do about it? Maybe you can give us some advice. So I was going to live stream it on Facebook, and she says, no, because you won't work. You'll just talk. Once you start talking, you won't get that birdhouse put in. And wow, look, it's like proof in the pudding. So anyway, here's our bad decisions, our bad choices we made. Now I want to know if you can help us fix this. So, you know, we have like 816,000 followers now on our Facebook page, Sick Twisted Humor. Thank you if you're some of them. You know, we make posts every hour on the hour, sometimes twice an hour. So I made a post last night that was very popular. It said, what did it say? Aren't these birds, you hear that? Don't they sound beautiful? It's just glorious. I mowed the grass yesterday for the first time. It looks so pretty, doesn't it? So the post said, it said, our troops deserve a raise more than college students deserve having their loans forgiven. And that was a very popular post, you know, and it's one of those, you either love it or hate it, you either agree or disagree. But there were a lot of people who were like, can't we do both? Hey, well, you know, or why does it have to be just one thing? Okay. So I hardly ever read the comments, and I even less seldomly reply to comments, because that's just a waste of time. But you know, you notice I've been replying to comments here on this channel since I've been back from the Philippines, because a lot of you folks have been here for a long time, and that's not a waste of my time. Okay. It's an inefficient use of my time, but I don't know. I guess people that have supported me for years that I feel helped get me to where I am are worthy of being commented to. All right. So a lot of people that do what I do would tell me I'm wasting my time by commenting back to you. But listen, if you get a comment from me, it probably means you're special. But don't start stalking me. We are not going to become friends in real life. Do not come to my house unless you're invited. Crazy that I have to say that, but yeah, it's happened. So anyway, this one guy replied in the comment section. He says, why just that? He says, why can't we do more like make, and these are his exact words, make a reasonable path to citizenship and make sure that homeless veterans are taken care of, okay? And I was like, what's that even mean? And I didn't really know. So I kind of wanted some follow-up. And so I said to him, I actually replied to this guy. I said, actually, my wife is an immigrant from the Philippines, and next month she is going to sit for her U.S. citizenship exam. Yeah, my beautiful bride dearly, AKA Giggly Girl, thinks she wanted it to be a surprise. I just spoiled it. She's been in the country legally for almost 8 years now. Well, yeah, 8 years today, April 16th. This is our 8-year anniversary of coming here with my wife dearly and our son Daniel. I'm gonna have to remind him of that. 8 years legally. She's gone back home a couple times. Once, her and our son during COVID, I couldn't go. They stayed for 3 months, and then of course we spent the last winter there, 5 months. She's never committed a crime. She follows all of our laws. She has acclimated to our culture. She loves our culture. She loves it. She loves America. She almost daily just looks around when we're out doing something and she says, my God, it just still doesn't feel real that I live here. And when sometimes we'll be talking to people, and if they kind of start bitching about America or ask her about, how terribly she must be treated, living out here in the country with all of us rural white males and stuff, she calls them on their crap. She says, hey, you think there's something wrong with America? She goes, you go to my country and stay for a year, then come back and tell me how much America sucks. Or pick any other third world country. So anyway, and she says, no, actually, we get along with the neighbors that we know. We do get along. There's a couple of households where there's some pretentious snobs, and then of course the hay collector, who's a sociopath / psychopath. Make sure to avoid them at all costs, but everybody else we get along great with. So she's got friends here. So this guy says there should be a more reasonable path to citizenship, and we should take care of our homeless veterans. So I said to him, my wife's an immigrant from the Philippines, getting ready to sit for her citizenship exam next month. So actually, there already is a reasonable path to citizenship. It's the one that's in place that my wife has followed to a T. And we procrastinated for a few years because she frankly didn't care. We knew she was going to do it at some point, but she was so enjoying just living the life of being here. Now, she's, like you said, been here legally the whole time, has her green card. That's good for like 10 years once you get it. So there was no rush. But now she wants to actually get her citizenship so she can vote. She wants to vote in this upcoming election this November. She's very excited to do that. I'm not going to say which way or who for, because that's the reason we have silent ballots, or what do you call it? Secret ballots. And then I also said to this guy, and actually when my wife and I met, I was a homeless veteran. And I said, by making different choices and living a different way than I was during those times, I'm now very successful and what most people would consider rich. And I Googled it. I Googled our income. We're in the top 5 percentile, or 5%. We're actually in the top 1 or 2 percentile. There's a difference between percent and percentile. And so, and he said corporations should be taxed more. That's how we do it. Tax the corporations more, and we could have these things happen. And I said to him, I'm now successful, what most people would consider rich. But it had to do with me making different choices, deciding to live a different way, and it had nothing to do with the taxation of anybody that's not me. I mean, I've got my tax liability. I pay a shit ton. I mean, pardon my French, but it's more than 2 teachers who have been teaching for 30 years earn combined. I pay more than that in taxes. So then the guy, he says back to me, he says, that's my point. You guys made wrong choices. Okay? So then I asked, how was it wrong for my wife to choose to follow the legal immigration process here to get here, and then the legal path to citizenship to become a citizen, which you'll do in a month, knock on wood. And how was it a wrong choice for me to live a different lifestyle? And instead of sitting around saying somebody owed me something because I did this, this, and this, something, by the way, that I volunteered to do. I wasn't drafted. I willingly enlisted after they knocked our towers down. Left a good paying stockbroker job. So anyway, but now here I am after making those different choices. I mean, this is my place, man. I mean, I'm not going to do a panoramic view because my truck's over there, and I don't want some people out there to get my license plate number, because, man, let me tell you, the things you find out about people when you're a social media content creator that's got 1.2 million followers and subscribers right now. Government didn't give them to me. Y'all came here because you saw something you liked, and you kept coming back. But how was this the wrong choice? This is the question I asked this guy. And the answer was, and I knew it was coming, was that I shouldn't have had to work as hard as I've worked to get to where I am. The government should have just given me this. And my wife, no matter how it was that she came to be in the U.S. since she's here, she shouldn't have to go through a process to become a citizen. Our government should just give her citizenship. So that's it in a nutshell. What it is, it boils down to everybody should just be given everything they need or they want. So everybody out there should be given the equivalency of the top 5% of incomes in the United States. And if you're here from wherever, whether you're here legally or not, you should just be granted citizenship. That was the guy's line of thinking. So we made a mistake. We made a huge mistake because we followed the law in her case, and I followed my heart, my brain, my passion, my work ethic. I ditched the victim mindset. I ditched that victim mindset that, went to the war, lost my first family, came back, had to spend 6 months in the hospital, got all effed up, was addicted to 8 different medications by the time I was out of there. Somebody owes me something. They should give me this 6-acre property in Central Virginia with a fish pond that actually has fish. Oh my God, there's freaking fish in this pond. Y'all gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh when you see this. There used to be fish in that pond. Daggone government man came and got him. Probably that mysterious creature screaming from the forest scared them. They don't want to eat now. So anyway, I've told you the story. So now I'm asking for your help. What should my wife and I have done differently to get her here legally and get her in a position where she's within weeks of becoming a citizen? And what should I have done differently than to be living the dream? Literally living the dream. Spending my winters in the tropics, the nice part of the year here with this is my view. This is my freaking front yard, man. Look. That's my house. That's my front porch. That's the hammock where I take my daily afternoon naps after I've gotten tired of staring at the pond that used to have fish in it. No, I do more than that. You know that. You know I do a lot. But yeah, isn't that crazy the way some people think? Everybody should just have everything given to them. And if you go out there and you earn, you made the wrong choice. You're stupid. You're that dumb guy. You whatever, jump through the hoops or whatever. Listen, make this post a lot too. And this, you know who I respect? A lot of Dearly's relatives in the Philippines. It's crazy. They would sometimes apologize to me because they were poor. And they said they felt bad because anytime we got together, I was the guy buying all the food, throwing the party, buying the beer, stuff like that. Sometimes they'd apologize and they say they wish that they couldn't treat because they love me I said, dude, you got nothing to apologize for. Listen, because these guys worked. They do work. She's got brothers, cousins. They all work. Some of them drive tricycles. They make $2 or $3 a day. One guy works for the local water co-op. He goes around and reads meters and does the billing, and he makes $2 a day. Another one of her relatives, I'm not going to say what he does because it's a dangerous job, and there are people that are watching. They might kill him to profit a little bit financially from it. But he makes $75 a month, working 6 days a week. And I tell them, if you're working, I have as much respect for you as I do anybody else, regardless of the income. I have as much respect for them, and this is true, as I do a brain surgeon down here at UVA Hospital. Because the thing is, both the surgeon and these guys are working to be responsible and take care of their families, and that earns my respect. Always remember, it's better to work, even for a small salary, than to sit around on your ass waiting for somebody else to just give you something. Remember that. And you'll never know what all that little work with small pay can add up to. I remember the first time I made over $100 in 1 month on social media. Still in the Philippines, down and out. I was stuck over there for 6 years because I didn't have the money to come home. And I wasn't coming home until I had enough money to bring my wife and son with me. I wasn't going to leave them behind. But the first month we made over $100. That was like 3,800 pesos back then. It would be 5,500 pesos now because the dollar's up versus the pesos. We went to the next town over and went to the movies. We saw Iron Man 2 in the theater. It was my son's first movie he'd ever seen in a theater. He was 2 years old. And we stopped at a coffee shop afterwards. We didn't have enough money left to go out to dinner and make it home on the bus, but we did go to a coffee shop, and we sat there and we talked about how great life was, and we dreamed big, and we made the dream happen through hard work, determination, and by doing for ourselves rather than sitting around waiting for somebody else to come along and do for us. Goes a long way. Goes a really long way. All right, so I got to get to work. I can't use all my energy making this video because here after I dig a hole, I'm gonna have to be standing here like this for 24 hours. But you know how I'm gonna do it? I'm gonna do it like this. So I can watch my pond that used to have fish in it. Daggone Bigfoot Sasquatch knocked my camera over. Man, he was right there behind the camera. Why does he always have to? But now he's gone. Came right down here and knocked the camera over. Yeah, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you. Look at that. That's mine too. Isn't that great? But I made the wrong choice. Oh, almost saw the license plate number. All right, see y'all for more next time from the greatest homesteading channel on the planet that's got nothing to do with homesteading. Homesteading off the grid.